Hi everyone. Today is Saturday, September 5, and it's currently 6:19 in the evening. And I just wanted to give viewers an example of how racial profiling works in Canada. And I just showed you, um, it's really disturbing to even talk about, because when you are beaten up, you are harassed, you are targeted, you are biomedically profiled, you have lost hundreds of thousands and thousands of dollars. It's really upsetting to talk about. So what had happened was, about an hour and a half ago, I was talking to a neighbor in the common area outside, and all of a sudden the fire department shows up. And they were saying that, my neighbor heard that they were saying that they showed up because they were there to do a wellness check. Now, I just thought I'd take a look at this, and then I said to my neighbor, how come the police are not even here, and how come they're not questioning this older white male to see if he needs to be taken down to a mental health facility? Now, to give you a little bit more information about this particular neighborhood in Ontario, Canada, Canada is supposed to be considered this place where you can actually rest at night. You can walk around, you can read whatever you want, and you don't get harassed by police. But I was actually raised in Western Canada, and you really grow to have an appreciation for law enforcement. But when you come to Ontario, Canada, you see how they really make people mad and upset. So I was just watching the situation from the corner of my eye, and I said to my neighbor, I said, how come the police are not even here questioning him, this white guy, this older white male? How come the police weren't questioning him and detaining him and throwing him into the back of the car? Now, to just describe a little bit more about the community, I spend a lot of time in a community where the economic demographics are very, very disgusting. It's a very poor community, and apparently it's the poorest community in North America. And this place is in Canada. And so this particular community in this place called Toronto, it houses a lot of people who have had problems with the criminal justice system, have been like refugees that come into the country. I still don't understand that. And other people who have had misfortune. So if you move into the community and, for example, pay your rent goes towards helping people who are less fortunate. So I like that concept of the living, is that you get to help out what you think you're helping out. You really have to question some things. So we have our experiences with this profiling in Canada too, and I really wish I had the ability to show you this interaction. But we've actually had a lot of, for example, blacks who, by these people in the so-called social justice communities, they're predominantly white folks. They don't work, they don't want to go to school, They don't want to try and upgrade themselves. They don't want to do anything. All they do is they just collect a check at the end of the month, and then have their booze and their drugs and create a lot of problems for the people who are not white. But what's interesting in Toronto is that you have this other layer, because you have not only the white folk causing problems for non-white folk, but you have non-white folk that are causing problems for non-white folk. And to me that was really interesting, because I was like, are you serious? Like, how could you have like another person of color trying to behave worse than someone who's a descendant of a white settler community? So I'm just thinking about some things right now. It's just like, I have a lot of questions to say why. Why does it have to work this way? We've had people who are doing well. They've had some unfortunate circumstances in their life, and so they end up in these type of, to be a little bit more respectful to the community, or just not respectful, but to protect the privacy of people. I call them social justice communities. I'll just leave it at that. And you have people that live there that don't want to live there. They actually want to buy their homes and move on with their life, but they just can't, because the economic situation and just life in general in Canada, especially under, certain political party rule, is it's very hard, and it's very, very problematic. So I just wanted to share with my viewers that we also have issues of racial profiling in Canada, but what's interesting is that you now have people of color that are working with the ones doing the racial profiling, or you have also people of color who are doing the racial profiling. So you have you have all these layers that you have to think about, and then you have to prepare yourself for that. And I would never resort to arming myself with militia artillery. I would never do that, because I'm not trained properly to deal with that kind of stuff. I think that should be left with law enforcement, but we do have some problems in, for example, Toronto, Canada. So this white male, the fire department went up to him and said, "Oh, are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't need your help." And I thought, and you know what? He walked right by all of them. Nobody detained him. There were no police, and there were no police for at least an hour and a half. But when it's a black person, the police come with about 50 cars. They have their special investigations unit. They bring their canine units, and they create this very dramatized situation that makes you wonder, how come I have to take out a student loan, and yet I can't use income tax money to pay for my education, but yet you can see stuff like this where income tax money is used to be spent very, it's like they're wasting the spending. So I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. I was just really shocked by everything, but we actually have an elected person at the provincial level in they call them political constituencies, and this person is actually Somalian, and he's a black male Somalian who is educated in Winnipeg, Winnipeg, Canada. So you would think that he would have some familiarity with putting Canada values first. And when I say Canada values, I mean the right to a clean environment, and looking at what's happening in the Indigenous communities to begin with. But oh no, we got this, well, not me, but this person was elected, And then the first thing that he does is he's in Parliament like a month later, and he's talking about passing legislation to protect the rights of Muslim people to practice their whatever they're doing. And when I watched this video, and I've watched some other videos of this guy, I actually know this guy, so I don't know if I want to advertise for him, because I don't think I want to talk to him anymore, because it's like when you meet some of these people from these different practices, and even though they're black, it seems like they're just there to try and rip you off, to find out what information that they can get, and then they go back to their own communities, they speak in their language, and they're sharing all these, economic resources, and they don't even say thank you. So, the racial profiling in this particular community in Toronto, Canada, it was actually brought up to this elected person who is a black Somali person. And, they were spoken to for about an hour. And then the next thing they said was, can you send an email? So it made the person think, like, what was the point of me talking to you? Like, did you not actively listen to what was being said? And then when you see this Somali person, this black Somali male in Parliament, he's talking about passing legislation to protect the rights of Muslims. Now, I don't know how protecting the right of Muslims to practice their garbage is even going to help with, racial profiling in Canada, and racial profiling in the community, biomedical profiling in the community, and other things happening in the community, lack of access to certain economic resources. And it's really disturbing. It's really disturbing. So I have to think on things first to see if I even want to mention this guy's name, who was elected to the Canadian provincial parliament for this particular political district. I just don't want to give him free advertising. Like, I'm not. It's just I have to think about some things here, because he's really problematic, and he comes from this Somali community, and sometimes I don't even understand what he's saying, but it's stuff like this that blacks in the community are like dealing with, and it's really disturbing to see that, even after these, whatever, I don't even know what to call them, because this Black Lives Matter thing, I really don't know what it is. And quite frankly, I don't want these, like, dissidents speaking for me, because I don't squat on other people's lands. I don't steal from people. I don't smoke drugs. I don't contaminate the environment. So I don't know really what their message is. But you would think that they would actually say, something doesn't make sense here. But of course, all the people, the response services people, they're all white. And I am in the most diverse, the most racially diverse city in Canada. So I don't know what to really make of this yet, because I'm feeling very disturbed, very unsettled, because no police showed up, and they showed up an hour. It's about an hour and a half, later, or a little bit over an hour later, and this guy just walked right by them. He didn't, and he's white, and he's an older guy. And he also is of an Italian background. That's a completely different video. I don't even know if I'm going to talk about some of these, like, white Italians. They're pathetic. They're pathetic in Toronto. They get themselves in the infrastructure, and then they're just putting all their own family into these places. And then you look at, like, the government jobs, it seems like the environments are like some kind of family-run business. So we have our problems with racial profiling in Canada, and in particular in Toronto, it's called racial profiling related to biomedical profiling. And I'll talk about it a little bit more. I have some current videos, but I have to update information because some of my videos were made like, I think, over 10 years ago. And I've learned quite a bit in 10 years. So on that note, thank you for watching my videos. If you have any comments, please do feel free to leave your comments. And excuse me. If you'd like to get in touch with me, I also share my email. Excuse me, my voice is going. So on that note, thank you for watching my videos, and I look forward to interacting with you all. Bye.